Good morning, students. Today, to begin with the session of macroeconomics for your current session, we will be starting with macroeconomics, your chapter 1. So, before begin with the chapter, I would like to explain you the meaning and what all initial contents are there in that chapter. So, first is meaning. It means meaning of microeconomics. So economics, we all know the scarcity of the resources to be dealt with, the optimum utilization of resources. In microeconomics, till now we have dealt with the individual concept, and here economy as a whole. We will be dealing with economy as a whole. To make it clear, I would rather say you have studied about price. So price of a product. It is an individual concept. If I talk about income, so income is the overall concept out of which price derives. So income is a macro concept. Understood? If demand is a term which I am considering as an example, so demand is an example of micro and aggregate demand is the example of macro. So macro is economy as a whole to be studied. Is that clear? Now, the classical school theory, it was given by the traditional economists like Alfred Marshall, Adam Smith. They are the economists, and Adam Smith is considered as the father of economics. Adam Smith, he is known as the father of economics. So the classical theory says that what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce is the decision with regards to the market force, and it depends on demand and supply. It is not a fixed concept that who will produce, how will produce, and for whom. It is totally based on the demand and supply theory. And the main motive is for any economy is profit maximization. So if we are talking about profit maximization, if we are talking about what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, according to the demand and supply of market, then we are dealing with the classical school theory, the Keynesian school theory. So it was given by Keynes. He was also an economist. So he believed that classical theory was not working under unemployment continued to persist. Means where the unemployment is continued to persist. Here unemployment does not only mean the people who are not employed, but unemployed means the full employment level or full utilization of resources are not used. So therefore the government must interfere to work for economy. So on a broad level, what we understood in classical theory depends on demand, supply and market force. And in Keynes theory, government intervention is required. So this is the difference between the classical theory and the Keynesian school theory. Now next is micro-macro paradox. Paradox means the reverse situation which we can not assess. Micro-macro paradox means some points which may be logical from micro point of view may stand illogical for macro point of view. Like if I am dealing with price, I cannot deal with macro concept. If I am dealing with income, I cannot deal with micro concept. So this is known as micro-macro paradox. So I hope the meaning, the classical school theory, the Keynes school theory and the micro-macro paradox is clear to you. Now we will study about circular flow of income. But before studying circular flow of income, we have to study about real flow and money flow. The meaning of real flow is for what purpose the money comes in the market or rotates in the market. This is known as circular flow of income because there is no fixed end. Household to firm or firm to household. Both the conditions are possible. That is why it is known as circular flow. So first we will study about why this circular flow exists. So you have two sector model. This is the two sector model. and this is in your syllabus class 12 CBSE 21-22. Two sector model. So the two sectors are household and firm. Now we will see household means the consumers, the people, and firm means all the industries who are involving in giving the payments. So household is providing its services to the firm for production activity. Maybe the production of goods, maybe the production of services. Household is providing services to firms for production. In return, the firm produces goods and services which is consumed and utilized by household. So whatever services household are doing for the production, that production is being consumed and used by household. So this is known as real flow. Now, when the household provides factor services to the firm, factor services means the services which has output in return. If there is no return, then there will not be a word factor. Now, for the factor services, firm gives payment. Since this is a payment for which they have taken the output, therefore it is known as factor payment. So when the firm gives factor payment to the household, and this payment how firm can gather? When the firm produces goods and services, for buying goods and services, household gives money to the firm in the form of consumption expenditure. Household spend the money to buy that goods and services, therefore it is known as consumption expenditure. So this expenditure is going from household to the firm, and firm is giving factor payment to the household. Out of this payment only, the expenditure can be made by the household. So the circular flow is nothing but the combination of real flow and money flow. So households are providing factor services to the firm, and firms are providing factor payment to the household. Firms are producing goods and services which is used by the household, but for getting it to be used, the consumption expenditure is to be made by the household to the firm. So this is known as the circular flow of income. Now after circular flow of income, we need to know these four concepts. First is stock, then flow, then leakages, and then injections. Stock is that where the the amount which is calculated at the particular point of time. For example, how much money is in my pocket. So at this particular point of time, the money which is available in my pocket is stock. The water filled in a tank. This is at a particular point of time, this much water is in the tank. This is stock. Flow signifies the period of time. Means where the time period is mentioned, then it is known as flow. For example, I am giving 500 rupees for 1 day work to the labor. So 1 day is the time period. If my saving deposit in my bank, in my saving account, whatever amount is present, that is stock, because at a particular point of time that is available. But if I am talking about FD, fixed deposit, that is made for a period of time, maybe for 1 day, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. So period of time is mentioned, so it will be known as flow. Understood? So stock and flow, I hope it is clear. Now the other term is leakages. Leakages is also known as withdrawals. When for the disposable income or disposable expenditure, disposable expenditures are those which are merely known as expenditures. In accounts you use the term drawings. So these drawings are leakages. Since it does not take part in the process of economy, it may reduce the production, it is known as withdrawals. Okay, and injections are investments. It means the some amount is refeeded in the circular flow of income. अगर मैंने सर्कुलर फ्लो ऑफ इनकम जो फ्लो चल रहा है इनकम का, उसमें से कुछ पैसा विड्रॉ कर लिया पर्सनल यूज के लिए, सो इट इज नॉट टेकिंग पार्ट इन द इकोनॉमी फर्दर, सो इट इज नोन एज लीकेज और विड्रॉवल. बट अगर उसी अमाउंट को मैंने इन्वेस्ट कर दिया अपने कैपिटल गेन्स के लिए, सो इट अगेन इंक्लूडेड इन द पार्ट ऑफ इकोनॉमी और टू रन द इकोनॉमी. So that is known as either injections or investments. So I hope these 4 stock flow leakages in injections are clear to you. Thank you.